fair share of tall poppy knocking. Initially derided as a singing budgie for her stream of manufactured hits, Kylie has undergone a remarkable transformation. Now, 10 years on, it might even be said that Kylie is cool. She's emerged older, wiser, and reckons she's now playing the fame game her way. Mark Llewellyn caught up with Kylie in her hometown of Melbourne.
Yeah, coming up this hour, $100,000 with the Westfield Shopping Town birthday wheel. John Farnham, and, well, he's not going to be here, but somebody who is Kylie Minogue.
If you were in Melbourne last week, you might, just might, have noticed that Kylie was back in town.
Thanks, Kylie Minogue.
Indeed, back home.
Welcome, Kylie. It is so good to have you back in Melbourne. And you do call this home still, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
Now, listen, do you still call Melbourne home?
Yeah.
Have a tea or coffee or a peppermint tea or...
Kylie, how are you?
It's work. I mean, I'm in such a brilliant position that a lot of what I can do is so much fun.
We're just wondering, do you work the room or does the room come to you?
It's hard to believe she's not yet 30.
Neighbour.
Hard to believe that the girl who once was Charlene would become the woman she is now.
Call me Sissy.
Wouldn't dare, mate.
It's like looking at another girl. And I don't know if that's normal. I mean, if I showed you a picture of yourself from 10 years ago, would you look at it and say, oh, my God, you know, I hardly recognise him?
Yeah,
or,
I'd say he was thinner.
what a different man. Really, in the pre-written history books, it should have been, so whatever happened to that girl with the really big hair and pink earrings singing I Should Be So Lucky, or the girl that was in Neighbours.
This is Kylie's first ever scene in Neighbours.
Charlene!
Kylie was Charlene, Jason Donovan was Scott, and Alan Dale, who played Scott's dad Jim, was bowled over from the moment he met her.
As long as the both of us were working, we'd have enough money.
Kylie turned around, looked at me, and then smiled, and it was like the whole room lit up. You got one of those smiles, you know?
Yeah.
You meet people like that, and she just really had it.
Whatever it was, it worked. When Kylie and her on- and off-screen lover Jason Donovan got married, it was the biggest rating episode in Australian soap history. We were transfixed by Kylie.
Do you look back and wonder, why me? What was the dynamic I had with the audience? What was it that connected with people? Why me? Why Kylie Minogue?
No. It's something that makes me feel slightly uncomfortable, but there is that element of the unknown and a magical element that this has happened, and I'm quite happy to not have analysed it and know the reason why.
Just
Otherwise we
happened.
could all do it, and it wouldn't be that special.
I hereby cut the ribbon. The real world vibe.
It's that it quality again. There's no doubt the camera loves Kylie, and she it. But just what it is that propelled her from big-time fame in small-town Oz to international success at first amazed many. But again, not Alan Dale. Alan, former bass guitarist in the Neighbours After Hours muck-around band.
One of the songs that we had, that we could play, that we'd worked up, was a song called Locomotion. So when she arrived, we asked her to sing, if she could sing it, and she, as it happened, knew the words and sang it. And she was standing about 3 feet in front of me, right in front of me, when she sang it. And we sort of moved into it, you know. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. And then off she went. And when we finished, we all just, the silence fell, and we just looked at each other, couldn't believe it, you know.
Come on, do the locomotion with me.
Here was this little tiny girl who, you know, looked great, and she looked great, who could sing like an angel as well. Really, really well. She was a good singer.
I mean, people talk about the Spice Girls, but what Kylie achieved is bigger than anybody. Because, you know, we're talking about, we were a small little record company with about 500 quid. And we took on the majors and beat the majors. And, I mean, still nobody sold more albums in Great Britain than Kylie. So, I mean, it was purely done on her talent and our talent.
Not that Pete Waterman thought it then. In the 80s, Stock Aitken and Waterman was the hottest pop production line in Britain. Locomotion may have made Kylie huge in Australia, but in Britain, she was small bickies. Indeed, when she flew to London to meet Waterman, he'd forgotten the appointment completely until his panicked partner rang him.
He said, well, I've got a small amphibian sitting in the reception, and she's expecting to make a record because she's on her way back to Sydney in 2.5 hours. Don't you think you should have told us?
Is it true that I Should Be So Lucky was written and sung, recorded in a day?
Oh, way less than a day, yeah. It was written in 10 minutes.
And he said, look, you don't understand. She's sitting with her baggage in the reception. And I said, look, she should be so lucky. And he said, look, just go away and write lyrics on that idea. I said, what idea? He said, I should be so lucky.
Didn't know what I was doing. I mean, it was just done there and then we caught the plane back here.
Not knowing what would happen?
Having no idea, you know, that song would become what it did.
I Should Be So Lucky went #1. And it didn't stop there. 6 top 10 albums and 16 top 10 singles followed. Kylie, the compliant pop puppet, churning out formula hits, raking in the profits. A singing budgie in a gilded cage. A cage and an image she hated.
She's suddenly 18, 19. She's very wealthy. And suddenly she doesn't want that clean-cut image anymore. She wants to get out and have a good time. And so what better way than to get in bed with Australia's most outrageous rock star? I mean, that, if you're going to do something, you might as well do it properly. And that certainly was, in for a penny, in for a pound. You chuck Jason Donovan out and you bring in Michael Hutchinson. Talk about chalk and cheese.
I had found this new confidence, and I was just very eager to explore that. And also, I can look back on it and think that it was rebelling in a kind of childish way against everything that I had been made to do before.
They call me the wild rose.
Geez, what's happened to Kylie?
What happened was a new Kylie. Her relationship with Hutchins didn't last, but it set off changes that redefined her.
For my name was Eliza Day.
I mean, if I was still doing what I was doing 10 years ago, I sure as hell wouldn't be sitting here speaking with you.
You'd be down at the RSL performing on stage.
I'd be in Las Vegas by now, for sure.
We're going to have you on the bench, Penny?
You want a cushion?
Whatever the changes, what has stayed constant is the constant glare. And as flattering as it can be,
How can he look so gorgeous so early in the day? And
You're very kind.
Oh, we're just honest.
to have it is to attract them. The paparazzi, the gutter journalists, and their vile rumours.
The latest makeup room gossip about me is that I have a dungeon.
Oh, yes, I heard that.
Yeah. It's not even a fine line as to what should be public and what should remain private. It's a really big, fat line, and yet they cross it time and time again.
For Kylie, this week the line was crossed once more.
Yes, apparently I lost my virginity in a cupboard at school. Now, how the hell someone can have the nerve to write... I mean, firstly, it's not true.
With the release of an unauthorised biography claiming, amongst other things, that Kylie and her management regularly lie to the media to ensure only the rosiest stories about her are ever printed.
You're saying that we make up the stories? I spend half my time denying stories and righting the wrongs that you all think are rights. I mean, that kind of attitude, I just don't get. And if that's a reflection of what the book's about, then go buy a Jackie Collins novel. I'm sure it'll be the...
It was the only flash of anger we saw in the few days we spent with her.
It's a really nice welcome. I feel like it's my birthday or something.
Really?
Yeah. It's like my birthday.
For the truth is, Kylie has experienced so much.
You saucy devil.
Oh, there you go.
Been buffeted by the good and bad winds of fame, that she now seems pretty much at ease, pretty much in control.
Always finding myself in new situations and doing different things. I'm lucky enough to be able to do that, so I take advantage of it.
It's a nice place to be, but the question lingers, what's left?
Do you actually think to yourself, well, what more can I do?
No. Mm-mm. The further I go, the wider my vision of the world gets, and the more I want to do. I wanted to travel to different countries. Who knows, I might have a family one day. I mean, there's so many things to come.
Being a